Okay, so we moved, and here's the new setup or the start of the new setup. The nightmare that is moving. There are people who like moving. My older brother likes moving. And when I say, yeah, but like the actual moving, yes, excuse me, he actually likes moving. And I get it. Like pares down his life a little bit. You get to see what's important. You make decisions. It feels like moving forward, almost no matter where you're moving to, and if you're moving into a smaller space, if things are hard, and we moved into a smaller space, but there's something that felt good about it, the shedding of things, the starting over, things like that. But actually moving, my back still hurts. Um, like everything went wrong, I think. Or maybe like I can't tell if I'm just being a baby, if I'm just, living life and life is hard and they always said life is hard, or my back actually hurts and maybe it's both. Okay, so let's start with this truck. When I saw the size of the truck that I was going to be driving, I sobbed. Not cried, I sobbed. I couldn't wrap my mind around the fact that I could drive a 26-foot truck. I took a picture of this truck. It took up 2 spaces in a parking lot. When they're like tush to tush, it took up the whole tush. 2 tushes. And I didn't know how I was going to make turns, how I was going to see behind me enough to back up ever. Um, but I did. And I think I needed to sob. I think that is my process. Not always. I do have a bit more of a grip on my emotions at this point, which is very good. But the sobbing sometimes needs to happen because I know on the other side of it, because they're renting to people like me without a trucker's license, that it is possible for people like me to drive it. I understand that as a concept, but I need to let out the initial emotion of there is no way that I should be driving a 26-foot truck. But if they're gonna rent it to me, then I guess I can do it. And um yeah, and if I was honest, people are very nice to the U-Haul trucks, the 26-foot trucks, and I think we all know that if we see a 26-foot truck that says U-Haul all over it, we know to get out of that person's way because we know that much like me, they are gripping the wheel so hard. I had to realize multiple times, stop gripping the wheel, stop gripping the wheel. Like it's cool. You're doing a great job. You're doing it. You're merging lanes. I stayed to the right. I stayed to the right. I went at, you know, maybe speed limit. I didn't want to slow down traffic, but I also didn't want to act like I have a trucker's license. But anyway, we made it. We made it. I drove a 26-inch truck. Okay, what else happened? I think the landlord ghosted us. We do not have the deposit back. And that's such a bummer because we were like, oh, like it could be like the nicest person to us in Philly was our landlord. Like he seemed so cool, just like a regular guy. He always brought his dog around, so friendly, was very responsive. Some stuff in Philly construction is literally backwards, like the heat is here and the cold is there, and there was a flood in the house at some point, but responsive, things happen. And we were so cool that when he was like, "Oh, on the final day we'll do a walkthrough and I'll give you the deposit like right there, I wouldn't be concerned about anything." And we're like, "Yeah, he's always done what he said." And the day that we were moving, I was like, "All right, we never really talked about the key. We assume we're gonna give it to you with the walkthrough, like, hey, we're leaving soon, you know, and never heard from him. I think he might have even blocked my number because when I call, I don't think it even rings or rings once or does that. Like, I don't know. I don't know that I've ever really been blocked or called someone that has blocked me. So, uh, this might be the first, and what a bummer. I really like the guy. He was cool. I was like, we could hang out. Like if we're ever in Philly again, I think we might get together with this. Well, I can't tell if I'm just doing that thing where you're in a bad relationship where it's like, you know what? He probably has a reason. There's no way he would just be like this. There's like a little bit of me that's saying, maybe something happened. Um, and you've got mail when he actually does, well, whatever. We all know he meets her, didn't meet. It doesn't matter. They're trying to make up a reason for the guy not showing up. And they get so far as to be like, he's in the hospital. Somebody pushed him on the track. He's in the hospital. He can't even use his digits. He can't call me, all this stuff. And I can't tell if I'm doing that in my head. Like, no, this guy, like maybe he has a reason. Maybe there's something that's going on with him, that it's not the ghosting of us, knowing that we're leaving the state and that maybe it'll be harder for us to say, hey, we see you. We see you in Philly. And then the actual move. So trying to be frugal, we're crossing states, rented a U-Haul. And the reason why the U-Haul was so big was because by the time we moved, it was Memorial Day weekend, and apparently everybody rents U-Hauls on Memorial Day weekend, and the only truck that was left. And the reason why we didn't book it ahead of time is, one, we actually didn't realize we were going to be moving on that day, and two is related to it because at first we thought we were moving on Wednesday. We needed a little extra time with the organization of it all, and we ended up moving it to Friday. So because of the move, because we weren't always certain when, we didn't hold a truck, but we should have just held a truck. Um, and we even what else? So we rent Memorial Day weekend. Oh, so all the regular trucks. Is everybody just buying furniture that weekend? Like, are people moving? I guess it's the end of the month also. I really didn't understand, but instead of hiring a whole company to pack the truck for us and unpack it on the other end, because we were going from Queens, Long Island, like there were multiple stops in my new trucker life. But we wanted like a TaskRabbit person to just help, because I wasn't going to be able to lift the heavy things, even though Xerxes was. He did need like another person with more his strength than mine. So we're trying to hire just like one person. We're all going to do it together. And we did use TaskRabbit, and it was like, okay, we got a rabbit right away. Excellent. The guy was like, hey, can you send a picture of the stuff that we're loading? And we did say how, like, you have to put down information, and this rabbit was under the section loading and unloading and things. It was very, very specific. And I took a picture of it, and he canceled it. So, okay, maybe that's when my back hurts. But it was things like this shelf, breaks down into pieces, and these records are very, very heavy. This isn't mine. This is boyfriend's, but those become heavy, but I thought like that's what people who lift heavy things do. Anyway, he canceled. We got another one. They canceled without seeing a picture or something. It was just like taken, cancel, taken, cancel. I think it was like they took it and then maybe realized it was the next day or so. I don't know. Again, I'm making up reasons. Just a nightmare. We ended up going outside of TaskRabbit. We did get somebody, but we're talking about like we got somebody on the Philly end to help, but on the New York side, there was an elevator building, and it's like a regular person elevator building. Like there's no, what do you call an elevator that's for other things? Freight elevator. Thank you. Ding, ding, ding. All right. So there was no freight elevator. So it was just like, here's some stuff in the elevator. Let's go up. was just over and over again. By the time we got to the final destination, it was 4:30 in the morning. But I was a rock star on that machine. I am a truck driver, you all. I was so proud of myself. It was a bit too much. Like on Reddit, am I overreacting? Yes, I am. Yes, I'm giving myself a lot of credit for that. When I should be also shouting out Xerxes, who could lift so much. I feel so bad because I couldn't help you as much as I wanted to. He knows it. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. This is like, for him, everyone does exactly, the thing that they can do, and that's what's expected, not the same exact amount. So that's really nice. Anyway, we're in Queens, you all. We're in Queens, and man, Queens does feel like home because, as we're riding our bikes here, we can tell each other about our childhood, but I'll tell you more about where we landed and where we are now. For now, it's a nightmare. But hello, we're awake and back now. So, I don't know, click a button in front. You know what saying click a button in front of you and click subscribe feels like? It feels like creating an outgoing message for your answering machine. It feels like, hi, this is Chemda. Please leave a message at the tone. And it's like, leave a message, wait for the tone. Like, what outgoing message could possibly be not awkward, normal, informative, and casual? So here it is. Please leave your subscribe at the tone. Beep. Thank you for listening. If you made it to here, oh my God. High five. Good night.